You're watching the Players Network.
I'm Austin Miller, and I'm a player, and you're watching the Players Network.
Those other football pregame shows are a waste of time. We're the only one dedicated to building your bankroll. So sit back and enjoy. Here comes your winning edge.
Direct from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's the most watched sports handicapping pregame show in the world. Wayne Allen Root's Winning Edge. Direct from the heartland of America, Chicago's own Emmy Award-winning sports insider, your host, Chet Coppock. Now, direct from our studios in Las Vegas, it's your Winning Edge.
Hi, I'm Michelle Nunes, Miss Hooters International 2006. And now to your host, Mr. Chet Coppock.
The name is Harvard Hollis Barnhart. He walks with a swagger, and justifiably so. During the course of his adult life, he has done what the so-called experts say you cannot do. He has taken Las Vegas and he has lowered the boom. Whether it's golf, whether it's poker, whether it's betting football, the NBA, whatever the case may be, Harvard Hollis Barnhart is a classic wise guy. Does that mean he's below sea level? Does that mean he's subterranean? No. Very simply, he's a very educated man, a very bright man, who recognizes that there are frailties in Las Vegas. Frailties that will allow the point spread player, the good poker player, to capitalize. Anytime I have the opportunity to sit with Harvard Hollis Barnhart, it's going to be educational, because this is a man who, once again, has taken the Vegas system and said, you know what, I'm going to blow it out of the water. There are casinos that cringe when this man walks into the ballpark, and you can take that right to the bank. I want to talk about exotic bets. The classic wager, we're laying 11 against 10. Let's talk about the exotics. Dance floor is wide open. You are a master of exotic bets.
Well, Chet, you know, you can't just depend on laying 11 to 10 and make a straight bet. A lot of times you have to adjust your way of betting, and the first thing I look at is money line bets. Now, a money line bet is where you don't have any points. So if I want to take an underdog, and let's say that underdog is, or the favorite's favored by 6, and I think they're going to win straight up, why would I want to lay 6 points and put up $100 or $110 to win 100 when I can put up $100 now to win $200? Because I want to take the money line. It's just win the game straight up. You can do this in any sport. Baseball is probably the most prevalent one, but I do make a lot of wagers on the money line, taking underdogs straight up and winning a lot of extra money just in football.
What's the level of confidence you've got to have before Harvard Hollis Barnhart will bet the money line?
Well, usually I stick to anything that's +3, +4, all the way up to +6, sometimes a +7. And I'm usually putting up, say, for every $1,000 you put up on a +7, you're going to get back approximately $2,500.
All right, talk to me about the total, the over-under. What are the key factors for a guy who's becoming a point spread player to really understand? Because the total can confuse you. It can look awfully attractive. It can reach up and bite you right in the booty.
Well, the first thing you have to do is break down the difference between passing teams and running teams. For instance, if I have 2 running teams going, I'm immediately going to look for the under. If I have passing teams going, I'm going to look for the over. The other thing when you're betting the totals is weather. Weather's one of the most important things that you can consider. Now, Chet, what would you think would be more important when we're dealing with weather? You're from Chicago. Would you think that snow would impact the game?
Wind.
Rain, extreme
Wind.
cold? You're exactly right. Wind is probably the #1 thing, and probably the thing that no one ever checks, but you have to check the wind. It'll affect field goals, it'll affect play calling, it'll affect pass patterns and things like that. Another thing we want to move to is halftime bets. Let's say you're stuck a little bit on the halftime. Have you ever made a halftime wager?
Sure.
Okay. What you want to do on the second half, and that's when you usually make your bet at the second half, the line is usually cut in half. They're usually going to shade the line to the team that's behind. But the key thing there is you want to look at the last minute to 2 minutes of the first half and see who has the momentum before you make your halftime wager. You also want to look for teams with younger players, maybe faster players if they're playing on AstroTurf versus a slow field. You want to look for weather and see if they're going to be playing down and holding a lead.
Now, you told me years ago regarding baseball that when you're betting a total on a ball game, you'll want to know what umpire is behind home plate, because some umpires will have a narrow strike zone, some umpires will have a very wide, very open strike zone. I mean, pick it up from there. But I mean, the home plate umpire plays a definitive role in what you do with a total on baseball.
Well, the umpires, the thing that the pitchers like about the home plate umpires is they're always consistent. If they have a small strike zone, the batters are going to just sit back on it and wait, and that game's going to go over. If a guy has a wide strike zone, everything that they don't swing at is going to be called a ball, and when they do hit something that's high and outside, it's not going to be very solid. There could be a lot of ground outs or loose pop flies, and that game usually goes under. But the main thing is the consistency of the umpires, probably the most prevalent thing when betting totals and betting any sport. It would be in baseball. The last thing I'd like to talk to in football, though, is about buying these half points. You can buy a half a point on almost any number you want. Instead of laying 11 to 10, you'll lay 12 to 10. The only key number out there, and you want to buy key numbers on 6, 7, 10, and 14. So if you have a spread that's minus 14, if you like the dog, you can get 14.5. If you like the favorite, you're only laying 13.5, but you have to lay $1.20 to win $1. The only key number out there in the NFL is laying it on that minus 3. They're not going to let you go from a minus 3 to a minus 2.5 or a minus 3 to a minus 3.5 without you paying the price. Well, they charge an extra 10% on that, so you're now laying $1.30 to win $1. It should be worth about an extra 3 cents. They're charging an extra 10 cents, so I would advise against that. And just do a lot of studying, a lot of handicapping, and you won't have to worry about the half a point or shop around.
Harvard Hollis Barnhart. Once again, the man is in education about how to beat the wise guys in Las Vegas. Why? Because Harvard has been doing it for 30-plus years. Again, you don't become a point spread player overnight. You sit at the knee of a man like Hollis Barnhart because he understands the complexities of beating Las Vegas. It's a system that can be beaten, and beaten by you, but only if you have the expertise of someone like a Hollis Barnhart. Harvard Hollis Barnhart in Vegas. Again, when he walks in the casino, walks in the sports book, people shudder. They shiver. He's Harvard Hollis Barnhart.
The Winning Edge was executive produced by Wayne Allen Root and Douglas Miller. Produced and directed by Pitar Lasek.